views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Hello, and welcome back to Good Medicine. I'm Holly Davis, counselor here in Las Vegas, and we're live on WWDBTV, live in Las Vegas today. And I have a very special guest with me today, and this is our second part series. I'm not peopling today, and actually we're going to talk about how to turn it around. Cartesa Berry Williams, she's a really amazing woman that I got the privilege of meeting in Las Vegas at a advanced theta healing workshop. And I just said, hey, do you want to do a show? And she was just so willing to people, to play, to do this. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Hey, you wrote a couple of books.
Yes.
She's a counselor. She is a mother of multiple children, more than I have. And a couple of the books, Treasure Chest and Through My Eyes. And I wanted you to tell me a little bit about those books and how that's possible, that it could help us with this peopling situation, because people have been hurt. They don't want to people anymore. Tell me about your life.
Okay. Well, let's start with Through My Eyes. This is my first book. I'll hold it up. And it was released in 2003. And what motivated me to write this book is I had, at that time, I was a mother of 3 children, and I was just taking a look back over my life, and I wanted to do something to help other people. And one of the aspects that brought about me talking about my personal challenges that I had to overcome with being raped and having abortions, and those aspects actually they go with you through life, and they can affect you in your relationships with others. And sometimes there are deep-rooted issues that cause people to not want to people. And this particular book talks about some of those issues. And for me, going back and seeing that I was a victim of a terrible thing helped me to express what happened to me to others and just share my story. And in doing so, it helped me to be free and to no longer allow the traumatic experience to rule my life and my world, because it happened so many years ago. I was 13, and I wrote this book at 30. It took me to get to 30 to understand that it wasn't my fault what the other individual chose to do to me. It wasn't my fault. And I took that blame, self-blame, resentment, sorrow, shame. I let it all go, and I was able to move forward. And that's what I would say the message of this book is to anyone who reads it. Just think about it. Whatever you've gone through, it doesn't necessarily have to be a rape or something like that. It could be a terrible relationship. It could be a divorce, a death. The feelings are still the same. You know, the remorse, the regret, all of those things. Some of those things, they hinder us from moving forward in life. And some days we wake up with those thoughts on our mind that cause us to say, no peopling today. So when we're able to identify the source of the problem, then we're able to move forward and overcome it. So that's what I would say. As far as peopling, just learning how to press through whatever the feeling or obstacle is and just see the light on the other side, knowing that, I can make it. It doesn't end here.
You know what's such a miracle about that story is that not only did you say, okay, no more people, I don't want to get hurt. You were like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to get that off, and then I'm going to go get in here with people and at their most vulnerable time, shine the light and just go with them in their darkest time.
Yes.
How did that get turned around for you? Where because by all rights you could have said, no, I'm never going to get hurt again. I'm never going to care about others. You could have gone that way.
Yes, I could have. And another aspect of this book, at the time, I was teaching at my local church. I'm an ordained minister, and I was ordained in 1996, so many, many years ago. And I was working with a group of young people called the Trailblazers, and it was a class called Purity. And in this class, I felt like I really wasn't telling the truth. They couldn't understand why I could relate to them and the challenges that they were having as teenagers, but I really wasn't telling my truth. And I think in overcoming any obstacle or achieving any goal in life or just being able to move forward, you have to look at your truth. Okay, you can't look at someone else's. You can't hide your truth, whether you talk about it or not. Your truth is still there. And the way that you overcome your truth, if that's what you need to do, is to turn and look at it. Look it in the face, in the mirror. And if it's not what you want to see, change your truth. All right, so that's what I did. I looked at my truth, and there were some who probably thought I was crazy because what happened to me, most people carry to their graves. They don't share it with the world. They don't talk about it. I go out and I talk to young people about their lives. There were women, older women, middle-aged women who were touched by this book. And they told me, I had an abortion before. Yes, I was raped, but I've never told anyone. I would never tell something like that. And because I did, it opened the door for them to receive their healing, their deliverance through my story. And that was the purpose of it. And it set me free. And I can't say enough about being able to address the monsters, per se, or your demons, or what you fear. Because fear can be overcome. You can overcome fear. You can press through it. You don't let fear rule you. You rule it.
And take its power away.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
That is so powerful. It's a miraculous story. That miracle belongs to every human being. If you'll go to those places that cause you fear, because two of the most powerful motivations, fear and love. If we can go to those powerful motivations and we look at those fears and we address it, it will never have the power over you,
right,
like it did before.
Yes, and you said a very important word. You said love. And love is another aspect to consider. I had to ask myself, how much do I love Cartesa? Do I love Cartesa? And I was like, yes, I love Cartesa. Well, if you love yourself, help yourself.
I love that. Can you repeat that?
If you love yourself, help yourself first.
I love that. I think there's somebody out there who needs to hear that really, really bad.
Yes. Sometimes loving yourself can be hard. It's difficult because sometimes we don't love ourselves because we don't want to, again, look at our truth. Look at what harmed and what devastated us. But we're human. Nobody's perfect. There is no one that's perfect out there, even if you thought that person was perfect or they portray that they're perfect. No one's perfect. Everyone's human, and there's nothing new under the sun.
So what you're talking about is it's really big stuff. And I think it could make a really huge paradigm shift in our society today from I'm not going to go back there to that place where I could be hurt again to looking at the hurt. This is for the brave. Not a lot of people do this, right?
Right.
Doesn't sound that easy, but once you started taking the steps, did you find, this will be interesting, did you find that going and taking the steps, being true, speaking your truth, sharing those vulnerable places, was that more difficult or easier than just staying behind it and staying quiet?
It was easier. It was easier because I literally felt chains fall off of me. Here I am, a 30-year-old woman. I have, when this book came out, I had 6 children. Okay, and there was secrets I hadn't told my parents or none of my siblings about what happened. So yes, it was very liberating. It set me free, and I haven't looked at the situation the same since.
I love this story. I love Cartesa Berry Williams, my guest today. She's also a professional counselor here in Las Vegas. We're going to take a small break, and we're going to talk about, once that liberation hits, how do we begin to start feeling about people again? How your journey, how you begin to look at people, view people after you begin to see yourself in a different light, how that all unfolds. This is Good Medicine. We're going to take a small break. We will be right back. Stay with us. Hi, and welcome back to Good Medicine. I'm Counselor Holly Davis with Counselor Cartesa Berry Williams, and she has been telling us some of the most vulnerable, beautiful aspects of herself, her life, her testimony, and how she has found the strength to continue to not just peopling, to really, I think you've devoted your life to bettering people. I want to thank you for that. I know it's probably not easy every day.
Right. That's true. It isn't easy.
And then with 6 of her own little babies and peoples, I'm in awe. I really admire you, and I appreciate all the work that you've done. If no one has told you that today, I appreciate all the work that you have done.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that.
Well, before the break, we were talking about how do you get that love for people back? And you began to share a story with me that was so touching. Would you mind sharing that with our audience?
Okay. Well, how I got my love for people and my peopling back was, I remember a situation. I was, at this time, I was 15. So the molestation lasted for like 2 years, and I was pregnant. And so there was a agency in my community that catered to pregnant women, and I went there seeking help. And the worker there told me that she was unable to help me because I wasn't 18, and I needed to be 18 to receive their services. She basically showed me some literature and showed me the house that the people lived in and everything, but she told me, "I'm sorry, I'm going to have to turn you away." And so I'll never forget the conversation that I had with myself as I walked down the street away from the home. I was thinking, and I was crying, and I was like, one day I am going to have a facility where I am able to help any and everyone. I am not going to turn anyone away. And that is where I got my passion and my drive and motivation for wanting to help people who are in need. And at that time, I was thinking about teenagers. And it has grown to be women, men, homeless. It doesn't matter. My heart and compassion is toward hurting people and needing people because of what I experienced and being turned away or rejected, because basically that was a feeling of rejection.
We need each other.
Yes, we do.
We need each other. If there's someone out there, you're finding yourself isolated and you've been hurt and you've been rejected, I'm sorry that happened. But you can't do it alone. We're designed, we're created, we run like that. We have to have people in our lives. And what I love about that story, I just had this vision of like being a peopling pathfinder, that at any second you could have said, you know what? I hate people. hate myself. I hate this. I hate this. And you said, you know what? There's got to be better. But you didn't just say for myself. You said, you know what? There's got to be better for me as a person,
Yes.
dearly beloved human being that has a right to be here and has a right to have my needs met. But there's a right for other people.
Mm-hmm.
No one should have to go through this.
Yes.
That's the shift
Yes, it
that
is.
we have to have.
Yes.
Is thinking about other people behind us. You're not the only one that got bad service. You're not the only one who was rejected. You're not the only one who is going through this crisis. How can we get better together when I consider others?
Right. And I think at this point, that's how I was able to help others. After telling the story, I wrote another book, and it's called Treasure Chest. It's inspirations from the heart, which inspire the soul. And I would say that the main premise of this book is to allow the reader to understand that we need one another. And as we journey through this life, everyone is precious. They're like precious stones. And the people that you put around you help establish who you are. So you have to be selective. Like, when you go to the jeweler or you go get clothes, earrings, whatever, you're selective. That's how you should be when you're choosing your friends, the people that are going to motivate you and sow into you. That's basically what Treasure Chest is talking about. It's talking about precious stones, and those stones are people.
I love that you mentioned that, because I also love that I'm not going to turn anyone away. I'm going to love everybody. And I feel like that is my call too. That's just one of my virtues. I'm going to love everybody with no judgment. But am I going to allow everyone to be in my sanctuary or my soul family and the people that I spend time with? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I love that you said that, because I think another reason why someone would want to say, hey, not peopling anymore, I'm not going to give any more chances, I'm us two and no more, or us four no more,
Right.
is because you've been hurt so many times. But it's okay to love others, love them even from an arm length distance.
Yes.
Send them love. You can send anybody love anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even have to have your permission. Just send them love. Love you, love you, love you. Don't want to connect, cut you off or reject you. But that toxicity, the negativity, the wounded people who wound others, that's real stuff. So you can love those people and be in their space and give them space without getting it on you, and being very, very mindful, meticulous, prayerful, thoughtful of who you bring into your inner circle. I think it's extremely important.
Yes, it is. And it's okay to be selective.
Protecting.
Yeah, and protecting yourself. Don't judge yourself because you're selective. You have that right. You have to remember to think about me. Sometimes we lose focus. We lose focus on the important aspects of self. We have to develop self-love, self-joy, self-commitment before we're able to share those things with other people and establish healthy relationships. Because I think that's the goal of it all, is to establish healthy, productive relationships.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Now, if someone wanted to actually speak to you or get your books, or if you could help them with developing healthy relationships, I bet you are, specializing, and that's a top skill for you. How could we get a hold of you? Is there a number or an email or website, or would you be comfortable? How could we get your book? Or
Okay, well, my book is available online, Borders Books, Amazon. I would say Amazon would be
Okay.
a good place to start to get the book. And I also work for Acre Valley Therapy Services, located in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I could be reached at 702-467-6133. And if someone would like to send me an email, it's just my first initial, K, and then Berry, BERRY, number 1, .kb@gmail.com.
okay. there's also, if because you're a licensed therapist in Las Vegas or in Nevada, if there are people out there who are listening and you would really like to work on those healthy relationships again, if you are moved from this program, if one person was moved from this program, wouldn't that be so amazing?
Yes.
It would be, one person
Just
said, you
one
know what,
person.
I'm ready to live again and not be left alone. I'm feeling that I'm worthy to be in healthy relationships again, and I'm wanting that. That's my heart's desire. I'm just going to be honest and speak my truth. You know, you can go to psychologytoday.com, put in your zip code, and find a therapist anywhere in the continental U.S. In your area. You could call your insurance company and ask them who is available in your area. There's a lot of healers. There's a lot of people in the helping fields that would give their left eye tooth to help you. Believe me, right? We
That's
love
correct,
when
yes.
someone calls and asks for help, right?
Yes.
And maybe number one thing for peopling is ask for help. And what I tell my clients is maybe do this. Trust test. Trust test. Trust test. Just start to be open. If we could just have opened some doors today, and I believe that we did, that's a good place to start. Some of the other assignments that I give people is maybe just this week, I want you to maybe put the phone down in the, in the mall or with the shopping cart or at the, the Starbucks, and look and be present with that person. Sometimes, we are like, do this number, or you're in the mall and everybody's doing this number, or you're in a restaurant and you're seeing people closed off. So I'm not saying, hey, I'm saying in a protective, spiritual, zipped up, protective way, looking out and looking at people.
Yes.
Good place to start?
Yes. Excellent.
Thank you so much for being my guest. I want to close with a little bitty quote. My kids and I watched this prophet, Khalil Gibran, last night. It was a cartoon, and I loved it. And knowing that we were talking about friends, it was saying, for the dew of little things, the heart finds its morning and is refreshed. At the end of the day, when we think about peopling, the most beautiful moments, the most beautiful treasures, the things in life that are the richest are those intimate connections with others, with love, that really make a life. Refreshing the soul of others. Maybe that's going to be a new thing for you, is I'm going to just be refreshing the soul of others, and I'm going to be receiving the refreshment of others, because I'm worthy to receive that, and friendship and connection and love. It's my birthright. Love is your birthright.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much for being here. This is Good Medicine. We're here every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, live on WWDBTV. Please share this with a friend if it's touched your heart, and have a great day.